ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति सुपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता शिविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्द राधा कान्द नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमूर्तिं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचि इमां प्रसूक्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणां नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। जयदं सुरदोर्पङ्गो मम मन्दमतिर्गतिः मत्सर्वस्य पादाम्बुजो राधामदनमोहनो परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्षि अक्षराय दे सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तुमे। तमादिदेवं करुणानिधानं तमालवर्णं सुहृदावतारम् अपार संसार समुद्र सेतुं भजामहे भागवत स्वरूपम्। गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा हरि ओम तत्सत्। Welcome all the devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll share the screen.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
दंड प्रणाम माता जी। Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, you can see the screen now. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 1, text 15. Okay. Right, Mataji?
I think 1.11, Prabhuji.
Last time, last class.
Text 15 though.
Oh, sorry. I was not in the class.
Yes.
Yeah, you are not there, right? Very well. The Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, text 15. Yatpada samsraya sudha munaya prasamayanaha sadya punandi upasprishta swardhuni apo anusevaya. Mayuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yat pad sanshaya suta munaya prashamayanaha sadya punanti upsprashtaha swardhuni apah anusevaya.
Mini Mataji, translation.
Yes, Prabhu. Translation. O Suta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them whereas the waters of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use.
Very good. O Sudha, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. See the importance of devotees here. Very nicely explained. Who? By the sages of Naimisharanya. So the sages headed by Shaunaka Rishi is telling Siddha Goswami, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, if some people, whoever comes in contact with such sages, okay, it is much greater than sanctifying themselves in the waters of the Ganges. So that much significant, that much importance are the devotees of Lord. So the water of the Ganges can sanctify us after prolonged use. Just by dipping once in Ganges, it will not purify us. After prolonged use, after many times, daily, we repeatedly do that, it will sanctify us. Not only that, we have to stop doing sinful activities. If we take dip in water every day, at the same time continue doing sinful activities, there's no use. You are accumulating karma again and again. But here, once we come in contact with sages who have taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, the purification process is very fast. At once, here it said at once. So that much importance the sages are. Okay. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. The sages, they carry the tirthas wherever they go. They carry the holy places wherever they go. For example, Srila Prabhupada went from Vrindavan to America. He took Vrindavan along with him to America. Isn't it? So wherever the sages, wherever the pure devotees of the Lord travels, the Vrindavan Dham, because although he was in America, his consciousness is always of Vrindavan. Physically, we may be here in one place, location-wise, but our mind is always somewhere else. So we belong to that place where our mind is. So Prabhupada is such a devotee, wherever he goes, he discusses pastimes of Supreme Lord, pastimes of the Supreme Lord that has taken place in different dhams like Vrindavan, Mathura, Ayodhya, and Mayapur, such places. So although physically they are confined to one particular place, their consciousness is in Vrindavan and such dhams. So that's why Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, they take the holy dhams along with them. That is how the devotees also develop an attachment to holy dham. It's always 24 hours Krishna conscious, because he has no other business except discussing the pastimes of Supreme Lord. That is how the devotees get attached to pastimes of Supreme Lord, Krishna Katha, Krishna Leela, all these things. So that is the importance of the sages who have taken completely shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So pure devotees of the Lord are more powerful than the waters of sacred ranges, sacred river Ganges. One can derive spiritual benefit out of prolonged use of the Ganges waters. So as I told you, if you want to get benefit from taking a dip in water Ganges, in the water of Ganges, then after prolonged use only will get benefit. But one can be sanctified at once by the mercy of a pure devotee of the Lord. There is a very beautiful sloga also, okay, in our scriptures. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kohe, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoye. Isn't it? Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kohe. All the scriptures point to this one principle. Sadhu Sangha. Leva Matra Sadhu. Leva Matra means 1/11 second is called a leva. 1/11th of a second is called leva. Leva Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoye. Simply by having a Leva Matra association of the pure devotee, Sarva Siddhi Hoye, you will get perfection. in this human life. So that is the importance and significance that Shaunaka Rishi is explaining here to Siddha Goswami. So ultimately, they're all very fortunate to have the association of Siddha Goswami, who is an associate or who is a disciple of Sukadeva Goswami and Vyasadeva. So in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that any person, regardless of birth, as Shudra, women, or merchant, can take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, and by so doing can return to Godhead. Why they have specifically mentioned Shudra, women, and merchant? Because they are in the lower category in the Varnashrama Dharma. Women, they don't have any particular Varna, because whatever the husband follows, that is their Dharma. Okay, Shudra, they are of the fourth category, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Shudra and merchant also, Vaishya. So the main two categories are Brahmana and Kshatriya. Vaishyas, their occupation is Goraksha, Krishi, and Vanijya. That is the occupation. Brahmana is, their advisory class. Okay, teachers. And Kshatriyas are ruling class. Vaishyas are mercantile class. Shudras are labor class. So that's why even they can be purified simply by taking shelter of the devotees. The pure devotees whose only business is serving are honored by the names Prabhupada and Vishnupada, which indicate such devotees to be representatives of the lotus feet of Lord. So such pure devotees, they get a title by the name. After the name, they will have a suffix, that is Prabhupada or Vishnupada. Okay. Prabhupada means one who is at the lotus feet of Prabhu. Who is Prabhu here? Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is the meaning of Prabhupada? The devotee who has taken complete shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord is called Prabhupada. Abhay Charana Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Okay. And Vishnupada, again same. Vishnu in Prabhu is same. Okay, who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Vishnu is called Vishnupada. So which indicate such devotees to be representatives of the lotus feet of the Lord. Anyone, therefore, who takes shelter of the lotus feet of a pure devotee by accepting the pure devotee as his spiritual master can be at once purified. Now, it is possible. Now we may have some doubt. How is it possible? Simply by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme, Lord's representative, will get immediately purified. How is it possible? Anybody can say how this is possible? Simply by taking shelter, that we will be purified. Who can say? Mayuri Mataji, any idea? Now here it is say, I'll read it again. Anyone, therefore, who takes shelter of the lotus feet of a pure devotee by accepting the pure devotee as his spiritual master can be at once purified immediately. Is this statement true or false? Statement is true. But is it happening with us? Are we getting purified immediately? So what we are lacking? Why we are not getting purified immediately? What is the reason?
We are not completely surrendering, Prabhuji.
We are not?
Completely surrendering.
Yes, we are not sincere, very sincere, eager. For the namesake, we take, shelter. We accept discipleship. We accept a guru. But are we serious? We are not serious. We are not serious enough to follow the instructions of the scriptures, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So we lack. So that's why we don't get a chance to purify ourselves immediately when we. if we have a total mood of surrenderance. We know the story of Gokarna, okay, and Dundugari. Dundugari heard Srimad Bhagavatam Saptaham 7 days from Gokarna. In the assembly, there were so many people. Only Dundugari got delivered. All others did not. So they asked a question. How is that we all heard Srimad Bhagavatam? Okay. And why is that we did not get delivered? Only Dundugari got delivered. So the answer was, nobody heard Srimad Bhagavatam with so much sincerity and attention, with so much surrenderance, the way Dundugari heard. All others, just like when we go to Srimad Bhagavatam class, we are not listening to the speaker. We are not, what you call, what is that? We are not totally concentrating or focused in the Kada. We are seeing around who all have come, what dress they own, and whether that person is coming or not. How about the prasadam? Will we get prasadam? What prasadam they will make? So we are there physically, isn't it? But we are not sincere in listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are not desiring to get purified by listening that. That intensity is not there. That sincerity is not there. So Dundugari was totally absorbed because he wanted to get out of that ghostly form. He was in a miserable condition. Okay? So much focus, so much, concentration he had that somehow or other he wanted to get out of that much concentration, that much focus. He had nothing other than Srimad Bhagavatam in his mind. He was completely absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Whereas all others, they were very comfortably seated. They were sitting there for the sake of sitting and listening sometime here and then, chit-chatting with others, and mind is somewhere else. Sometimes in office, sometimes at home, sometimes with friends. They are physically present there. So the absorption, what Dundugari had, others, that's why they did not get delivered. So that is what we are lacking. So such absorption, when we get, definitely will also get delivered. So this is what it means. Okay. So by accepting the pure devotee as his spiritual master, can be at once purified. So that purification will take place for us also, provided we are, so much with intensity, with absorption, with concentration, with attention, we are listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, accepting the principles and instructions of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So this is the meaning of that. Such devotees of the Lord are honored equally with the Lord because they are engaged in the most confidential service of the Lord, for they deliver out of the material world fallen souls whom the Lord wants to return home back to Godhead. So such devotees are at par with the Lord. That is what it says. Honored equally. And such devotees of the Lord are honored equally. That's why we have to honor him as good as Lord, because they are engaged in the most confidential service of the Lord, because they are the devotees who are empowered to deliver other living entities. So we should not see them differently from the Lord. They are the Lord's representative. We should see such devotees at par with Supreme Lord. Such pure devotees are better known as wise lords. Viceroy, wise lords. Okay. According to the revealed scriptures, sincere disciple of the pure devotee considers the spiritual master equal to the Lord, as good as Lord. They are not Lord, but they are, see, the representative of a king, of a minister, are as good as the minister or as good as the king. So the representative of the Supreme Lord is also as good as the Lord. Sincere disciple of the pure devotee considers the spiritual master equal to the Lord, but always considers himself to be a humble servant of the Lord. This is the pure devotion. So here the disciple considers the representative or the spiritual master as good as the Lord, but the devotee of the Lord considers himself as the servant of the Lord, dasanu dasanu das. That is the position. They will never claim that I am Lord. If anyone claim that I am Lord, I am God, they are just put the spelling opposite God. What is that? If you put the spelling of the God opposite, yeah, that he will become. So no devotee will claim that he is God. Prabhupada says that if anyone claims that he is God, then that God, you just change the letters from opposite direction. He will become that. So that is the position of devotee. We as disciple, we have to treat such a representative of the Supreme Lord as good as. But that devotee, the representative, will never claim that he is God. If anybody claims like that, then God. This is what it says. Okay, so any comments or any question?
So it is revealed by the scripture. He is viceroy. Viceroy, like that.
Yeah, vice lord.
Vice lord.
Such pure devotees are better known as vice lord. They are lord, but not lord vice. Just like vice president. Second to the
Similar
president.
to.
Second to down below, one grade below, because they are representing, assisting the Lord. Okay, vice president is assisting the president.
President.
So like that, vice lords.
According to revealed scriptures, which scripture is being quoted here? I mean,
No, Vedic scriptures.
Achha.
Vedic scriptures, because we have, not one book. We have Bhagavad Gita, we have Bhagavatam, Puranas, Upanishads, Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, Aranyaka, Samhitas, so many scriptures. It's a vast body of scriptures. So in some of them, he has not specifically said in so and so scripture, but in Vedic scriptures.
So,
Okay. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Madaji.
Prabhuji, it's like I'm feeling that this thing is about us. Like with you in this class, we go to the Vrindavan Dham, but elevate नहीं हो सकते, कोशिश ही नहीं करते.
We are all sailing the same boat, Madaji.
No, Prabhuji, with you we feel कि 1 घंटा हम लोग वृंदावन धाम में होते हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद हम लोग भूल जाते हैं.
Everybody is like that. Okay. Anyway, we are all helping each other, inspiring each other. By the mercy of mainly our, debt, our indebtedness is to, our Gurujanas, especially our preeminent Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. Without him, we would not be sitting here together and discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not possible. So it is his compassion, his mercy that at least once in a week, twice a week, we are all coming together and discussing pastimes of Supreme Lord. So we have to pay prostrated obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, thousands and thousands of times. So it's his mercy, compassion. So text 16. Kova bhagavadastasya punyashlokedya karmana shuddhi kamo na shunuyad yasa kali malapaham. Okay. Jobi Mataji and Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Ova bhagavatsa tasya punnasloki karmana shuddhi kamo na sunuya drishya kalimalapaham.
Very good. Vandana Mataji, translation please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Who is there desiring deliverance from the vices of the age of peril who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of the Lord.
Reborn. Who is there desiring deliverance from the vices of the age of quarrel, who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of the Lord? Asking, who is there? Who is that person who is not, desiring for the deliverance, especially from the vices of age of quarrel? This Kali Yuga, this, quarrel and hypocrisy, Kapatyan Kalaha. Okay, Kali Yuga. What are the characteristics of Kali Yuga? Kalaha and Kapatya. From these vices, who is there who is not willing to get deliverance? Okay. And who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of the Lord? Who doesn't want to listen to the pastimes of Supreme Lord in the age of Kali? So this is a question. So the age of Kali is the most condemned age due to its quarrelsome features. Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, Kaler dosha nidhe rajan, asti hai ko mahan kunan, kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha param rajit. So in this age of Kali, Kaler dosha nidhe rajan, it's ocean of faults. Okay, ocean of faults. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan, asti egon maha. There is only one good great quality. What is that? What is that quality? Can anyone say?
Kirtan Puri, Namakirtan.
Hmm?
Namakirtan.
Kirtana, yes, Haribol. Kirtanat eva krishnasya. Kirtanat eva krishnasya. There are different kirtan. Film also, kirtan is the, by singing the film song, can we get deliverance? No. Only krishnasya. Okay. Guna Rupa Leela of Lord Sri Krishna. Only. So many other kirtan is there. That's not Kirtan. Kirtan is only about Supreme. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajed will be delivered from the bad association of this material world, Kali Yuga, and will be able to go back home, back to Godhead. So those who are engaged in the pure devotional service of the Lord, who are without any desire for self-aggrandizement, and who are freed from the effects of fruitive actions and dry philosophical speculations, are capable of getting out of the estrangements of the complicated age. Okay, so only those who are engaged themselves in the pure devotional service of the Lord, without self-appreciation, self-aggrandizement, and who are freed from the effects of fruitive actions and dry philosophical speculation, are capable of getting out of the estrangements of the complicated age, because this age is very complicated. Because it is full of hypocrisy, quarrel, and lot of distractions in the age of Kali. We don't get concentration, focus in any activities. We are distracted in the age of Kali with so much of allurements. So only pure devotees who take complete shelter of the Supreme Lord is eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. So the leaders of the people are very much anxious to live in the place of friendship, but they have no information of the simple method of hearing the glories of the Lord. On the contrary, such leaders are opposed to the propagation of the glories of the Lord. In other words, the foolish leaders want to completely deny the existence of the Lord. In the name of secular state, such leaders are enacting various plans every year. So Prabhupada is giving a picture of the situation in the age of Kali. What's happening here? What is the situation now in the age of Kali? So Prabhupada is giving a brief picture. So we have to visualize after reading this. But by the insurmountable intricacies of the material nature of the Lord, all these plans for progress are being constantly frustrated. So we make so many plans for our material progress, but we get frustrated again and again. We get kicked left, right, and center by Maya because we propose and God dispose, isn't it? Our plans are for our sense gratification. And it's not necessary that whatever plan we make, that will succeed. Because we may not be qualified to get that. If we have Sugriti, only then whatever we decide, that will get fulfilled. So we make so many plans, but then time and again we'll be frustrated because we plan or we decide that which we are not eligible for. So how is it possible? Okay. Yeah, just I want 1 lakh rupees. In my bank account, only 1,000 rupees. So how is it possible to get 1 lakh? So my eligibility is for only 1,000, but I am deciding for 1 lakh. It's not possible. No? Similarly, in the material world, people, out of sense gratification, out of selfish nature, they want to acquire more and more. They are deciding for more for which they are not eligible for. And they get frustrated. So they have no eyes to see that their attempts at peace and friendship are failing. They don't see that they are not eligible, they are not qualified, but still they keep on attempting again and again, over endeavor. That's why it is said, Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha. Okay, all this jana sangascha laulyamcha shadbir sadbir vinashyadi. Atyahara, prayasa. Prayasa means over endeavoring. Atyahara means over acquiring. Okay, these are all, only unfavorable for our devotional life. Vinashyadi will be destroyed if we have this Atyahara habit and prayasa over. Okay, we have to endeavor. Endeavor should be there. We have to put in effort. But in spite of endeavoring and putting a lot of effort so many times, repeatedly, it is not happening. We should leave it because God doesn't want us to have that. You must have seen, especially in Kerala, wherever you go by bus, you go by walk, people will come with a lottery ticket. So many people are buying lottery ticket. The whole life they will be buying lottery ticket. They will be spending not even a single pie they will get. Single lottery they will get. They keep, so many people are into this. I'm seeing in bus stand and this and everywhere, wherever they go, especially in Kerala, this is a big business. Out of, hundreds of thousands of people, one may get something. That is because of his Sugriti. But everybody is trying. But how many are getting? So once, twice, thrice, okay. But you know that you're not going to buy unnecessarily, you have to bother. Why unnecessarily you have to be after this? So that's why we get frustrated in this material world. We make so many plans, but it doesn't get materialized because we don't have that yogyada, that qualification, that eligibility of karma. And they don't see that. But here is the hint to get over this hurdle. If we want actual peace, we must open the road to understanding Supreme Lord Krishna and glorify him for his virtuous activities as they are depicted in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are all after peace. So if you really are after peace, then we have to glorify the Supreme Lord and his virtuous activities, his pastimes, as given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we will be at peace. Otherwise, always will be in frustration. This is what Prabhupada says in this pathbook. So, any points or any comments?
Prabhuji,
Yeah, yes.
Prabhuji, I had a doubt that in the previous stanza it was written that the foolish leaders they declared the nation as a secular state, but then actually God did not tell us to make the countries like that. But then in our textbook it was written that secular states are the best type of states that are available in the world currently. So is it written wrong?
Yeah, it is wrong in the sense because secularism means no religion. It is the other way of telling that they don't follow any religion. You can practice your own religion because the state is not imposing any religion. Because without religion, see, Prabhupada says, philosophy without religion is sentimentalism. Religion without philosophy is fanaticism. Okay, so we should be religious. We should be righteous. We should follow God's principles, instructions. Everyone. So it may differ from community, but everybody should follow religiosity. And the best religiosity is to love God. Whether you are a Hindu or Muslim or Christian, or whatever denomination you are. But what is the best? To love God. So to that, in that direction, the government should actually cultivate and support the citizen. But if it is a secular state, the government is not supporting at all. So it is not the right path. It's not, only for the namesake, they're saying secular. It is not the right way. When it was during kingdom, the king is supposed to be the representative supreme personality of Godhead. So he has to guide the citizens in devotional activities, in devotional path. So what happens when there is no religion? It will be just like, the kingdom of Vana. Vana? There was a king by name Vana, who was the son of King Anga. Vana was an atheist. Okay. He was killing all the Brahmanas, he was stopping all the yajnas and homas, and he was destroying all religious practices. What happened? People were fed up, and Bhumi Devi, the earth, stopped giving all the grains, no proper rain, all the living beings, including animals, were suffering because of, nothing to eat proper, because of the ruling of this Asuric king by name Vana. So if the country is not following any particular religious path, slowly and gradually we will have to suffer. You got it? So there should be religion. We should follow certain principles that is given in the scriptures, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, today, tomorrow, why we have to undergo all the sufferings because of natural calamities like earthquake, drought, flood, hurricane, and all these things? Because the people are not religious. They are not following any religious practices. So because of which the natural calamities are happening again and again. This is the mass karma phala. So in the textbook, because they are treating this country as so-called secularism, it is not taking us anywhere. It is only taking us to hell. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, clear.
Anyway, we cannot challenge the government, whatever they have written in the textbook, but should not. These are all bogus. Just for the sake of getting marks, read and write the answer according to whatever is given in the text. Otherwise, you will not pass. You will not get mark. But we should know that this is not the right. Because we know, we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, we know what is right. There is no point of arguing with these people because they have no voice here. Because country is ruled by such people nowadays. This is the influence of Kali Yuga. Okay, Shrijodi?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So we'll go to text 17. Tasya karmani udarani parigitani suribhi bruhina shraddhadananam leelaya datata Dadata Kalaha. Okay, Vandana Mataji and Vishajodi. Vishajodi, you
Yes.
read the translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
एक तस्य कर्माणि उदाराणि परिगीतानि शूरभि ब्रूहिणा श्रद्धानानां लीलया दत्ता कला.
Very good. Vishajodi, translation, please.
His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us, who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations.
Very good. His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations. So, Siddha Goswami is being asked by the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi, that the transcendental acts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are magnificent and gracious. And sages like Narada is glorifying such transcendental activities. Okay. So please, we are all eager to hear. So please explain or give us the details of such adventures and pastimes that the Lord performs in his various incarnations. Different incarnations are there. He appears in different incarnations. For what reason? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaturskridam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yugam. To save the pious people, to annihilate the impious people, and to re-establish the dharma. And Lord descends to this material world in different avtaras, in frequent interval, in different yugas. So please explain to us about that. It's all divya, it's all transcendental. So simply by listening to such activities of the Lord will be purified. So the personality of Godhead is never inactive, as some less intelligent persons suggest. So this is 17. So this is one of the questions asked by Shaunaka Rishis. This is the fourth question. Okay, please explain about the various incarnations. So the personality of Godhead is never inactive, as some less intelligent persons suggest. His works are magnificent and magnanimous. His creations, both material and spiritual, are all wonderful and contain all variegatedness. They are described nicely by such liberated souls as Srila Narada, Vyasa, Valmiki, Devala, Ashita, Madhava, Sri Chaitanya, Ramanuja, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka, Sridhara, Vishnunatha, Baladeva, Bhaktivinoda, Siddhanta Saraswati, and many other learned and self-realized souls. So Prabhupada is giving, the important personalities names here, starting with Narada, and till the present time, including his own spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and many other learned and self-realized souls. So these creations, both material and spiritual, are full of opulence, beauty, and knowledge. But the spiritual realm is more magnificent due to its being full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. So the spiritual world is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Okay. So both spiritual and material world are having all these opulences like knowledge, bliss, and eternity. So the material creations are manifested for some time as perverted shadows of the spiritual kingdom and can be likened to cinemas. Okay. So Prabhupada is giving comparison here. The material creations. So where we are staying, where we are living, in the material creation. So this is a perverted form of the spiritual world, just like a shadow. So when we walk, in a summer day outside, our shadow will be there, right? So which is original? The shadow or the person?
Prabhuji, the person.
Yeah, the person. So the spiritual world is compared to the person, okay, the original person, and the material world is compared to his shadow. That's why it is said perverted shadows of the spiritual kingdom and can be likened to cinemas, can be compared to cinemas. Why cinemas? Why Prabhupada is comparing this material world as cinemas?
Because it's a temporary, Prabhu.
It's a
Temporary.
yeah, it's temporary. It's a story. It's not true.
It's a story.
Story.
A fiction. Yes. It's not really happening. It's a story. It is just, enacted by the actors for time pass, for entertainment, for manoranjan. So they attract people of less intelligent caliber who are attracted by false things. Why it is false? Because it is temporary. As Mataji rightly said, such foolish men have no information of the reality. The reality is the spiritual world. That is permanent, Satchidananda. And they take it for granted that the false material manifestation is all in all. And we also, most of us, are taking this for granted that we are going to be here for eternity. So thinking that we are going to live forever, we accumulate. But we fail to understand next moment also death may strike to us. So what's the point? Because this is the reality of this material world. What is the guarantee that next moment that we all will be there to live? So actual reality is there. So, but it doesn't mean that we should not plan. Yes, we should plan. But we should be convinced that these are temporary. There is no guarantee of next moment of anyone in this material world. So that is the nature of the temporary position of all of us in this material world. We should be always remind. See, when we get up in the morning, we should thank God for giving another day. We don't know. When we sleep, next day morning we'll get up or not. We don't know. We are not sure. So that's temporary our material nature is. So we should be having this in our mind always. So we should plan, but it doesn't mean that we are going to be there for eternity in this material world and enjoying for eternity. But false material manifestation in all. So this is everything, whatever we are seeing, and this life is all in all. But more intelligent men, guided by sages like Vyasa and Narada, know that the eternal kingdom of God is more delightful, larger, and eternally full of bliss and knowledge. So sages like Narada and Vyasa informs through scriptures that there is an eternal abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, kingdom of God, where we can eternally enjoy with knowledge and bliss. That is Vaikunta. So our aim should be to reach there. So this platform we should use to reach our spiritual destination, that is Vaikunta or Goloka Vrindavana, where we can enjoy in full bliss for eternity, in full knowledge. So that is Satchidananda, our actual constitutional position. Those who are not conversant with the activities of the Lord and his transcendental realm are sometimes favored by the Lord in his adventures as incarnations, wherein he displays the eternal bliss of his association in the transcendental realm. By such activities, he attracts the conditioned souls of the material world. So, Supreme Lord, when he incarnates in this material world, he performs many pastimes, and devotees are attracted by the pastimes, by such pastimes. So it is why he is performing such pastime, so that the conditioned soul like us can be attracted to him and take the spiritual path and get delivered from this material existence. So that is the purpose of enacting so many different pastimes to attract us. That is the idea. Some of these conditioned souls are engaged in the false enjoyment of the material senses, and others in simply negating their real life in the spiritual world. These less intelligent persons are known as karmi. So the karmis, the karmakandis, they want to enjoy this material world. They don't know there is a better world, that is spiritual world, where they can eternally enjoy. So they are busy in making plans how they can live a comfortable, very nice, sense gratificatory life in this material world. They're busy making plans for that. So, but above these two classes of men, okay, yeah, or fruity workers and jnanis or dry mental speculators. But above these two classes of men is the transcendentalist known as Sattvada, or the devotee, who is busy neither with rampant material activity not with material speculation. So Prabhupada is giving, the karmis and jnanis, they will be stuck in this material world. But above this, there is a class of devotees who are not after this material sense enjoyment, but they want to get out of this material world simply by following the instructions given to them by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. He is engaged in the positive service of the Lord. Okay, no, they are not negating, oh, there is no God, there is no, all these are bogus. No, they are engaging themselves in the positive service of the Lord, that is devotional services, and thereby it derives the highest spiritual benefit unknown to the karmis and jnanis. So devotees or bhakti marga is the right path for self-realization. As the supreme controller of both the material and spiritual worlds, the Lord has different incarnations of unlimited categories. Incarnations like Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu, and Vyasa are his material qualitative incarnations. Okay. But his incarnation like Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, and Vamana are his transcendent incarnations. So here Prabhupada is giving the classification. Incarnation like Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu, and Vyasa are his material qualitative incarnations. They are not there in the spiritual world. All these incarnations are not coming from the spiritual world. Either of them are Shakti Avesha Avadara, Vibhudis, or Gunavadaras. That's why the names. Brahma is a Gunavadara, Rudra is a Gunavadara, Manu is also Avadara, Shakti Avesha Avadara, Prithu also, Vyasa also, qualitative, and Shakti Avesha. But its incarnation like Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, and Vamana are his transcendental. They are all the expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Lord Sri Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnation. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam is the fountainhead. From him emanates all these avataras. Okay? He is the Amshi, all others are Amsha. And he is therefore the cause of all causes. As in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes. Brahma glorifies the Supreme Lord Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna, he is the Supreme. Nobody is equal to him, nobody is above him. He is the cause of all causes. So that's what it is mentioned here. He is therefore the cause of all causes. And there will be no cause for that. If there is a cause for all causes, then he cannot be the Supreme. So it's a beautiful purport given by Srila Prabhupada. So any questions or any comments? So the sages are asking Siddha Goswami to give details of different avatars. So this is one of the 6 questions.
Prabhuji, one question is that there are 10 avatars.
What is that?
There are 10 avatars. So 10 avatars of Vishnu.
So you want to know the 10 avatars?
No, now we have talked about Rama, Bamana.
No, this is just Prabhupada is the purport is just giving
It is
different
just
some of the avataras. That's all.
okay.
Okay, it is not the 10 avatara. Some of the main avataras he has just quoted, because actually the other, Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu, and Vyasa are his material qualitative incarnations. They are not there in the spiritual world. None of them. Brahma is there. Brahma is not there in the spiritual. Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu, Vyasa, they are all there in the spiritual world. They are the material qualitative incarnation. Whereas Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, Vamana, they're all there in the spiritual world. They're all his Lord Krishna's transcendental incarnations. They have an abode. They have a Vaikuntha planet. All this Rama has Vaikuntha planet. Narasimha, Varaha, Vamana, they're all there in the spiritual planet. Whereas Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu, Vyasa, they are not there. They are only in the spiritual, material world to help all of us, to guide all of us, conditioned souls, in the right religious path. Is it clear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
So anything else?
Prabhuji, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Is Parshuram an avatar of Bhagavan Vishnu?
Yeah, he is a Shakti Avesha Avatara. Parashurama is a material qualitative Avatara.
Prabhuji, then why did Parshuram get angry with Lord Ram if both are avatar of Vishnu?
Yeah, it is a part of the pastimes. Okay, Mother Yashoda got angry at Krishna so many times. Okay, Mother Yashoda got annoyed at baby Krishna. Baby Krishna is so Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why she got annoyed? Arjuna got annoyed with Krishna so many times in their conversation. They were, like friends. So when friends talk, they will fight, they will be angry, there will be a difference of opinion. So it is a part of pastimes, leelas. So there will be sometimes fighting, there will be difference of opinion, all these things. And Parashurama got annoyed because Lord Ram broke the bow of Lord Shiva. But then when he came to know that it is by Sri Ram, who is none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was pacified. Okay, it's a part of Leela. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Shrijadi? Hare Krishna. So I will stop here. Vancha kalpatarubhesya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananda Kodi Vaishnava ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.